George Kilpatrick Inspiration for the Nation, celebrating people we feel good about. We've got a brother here, Kash Hameed. Well, Kashif Kash Hameed, also known as Kash. He is the founder of Klinic Sports, and they do something very interesting. So I got a call from Twiggy Ballou and said, no, actually, I got a call from Judge Cuffy, who said, I saw Twiggy Ballou, and she told me about this program that really looks at, using athletes and sports, but also with a focus on mental health. He was all hype about it. And so I got on the phone with Twiggy, and Twiggy hooked me up with you. And I'm really pleased to learn more about it, Kash. But first, as the founder of it, tell me a little bit more about you and your background.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm really excited that the message is resonating with you and, just with the community at whole for Syracuse. Just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I'm a big guy. You can't necessarily see it on camera, but I'm 6'8", 270, 280. I played college sports at Iona University, and then I went on to play professionally for a short stint overseas. I cut that stint short in Porto, Portugal, came home because I just felt, I don't know any other way to say it other than a calling to come home and like work with community. And so I left that work, came into education and, kind of left a lot of money on the table to start a teaching career for $45,000 a year, like in the Bronx. People thought that was crazy and kind of like, out of sorts because I was still killing people on the court. But I don't know, there was just something that drew me into that work and just loved it from, the very first year that I did it. Went back, got my master's degree, my second master's degree, and became a principal for 7 years in Harlem. Did some really great work there, like in some wraparound services, 100% graduation rate, 100% college acceptance rate, and loved the work that, was going on there, and decided that, I wanted to actually branch out and start to do this work like outside of just the school walls. And so I took the best of both worlds. I took the basketball, I took the mental health and wellness that became paramount during the time that I was a principal, and teamed up with my homegirl from NYU, whose whole doctoral focus is in the intricacies of mental health and wellness. And now we created a program that merges the two that, is an amazing sports program that promotes mental health and wellness.
Man, that sounds good. And so for a minute, I thought you were going to say, I left because I wasn't feeling okay mentally, but that wasn't it at all, was it?
No, that wasn't it. Like the thing that I found is while I was there, a lot of the work that we were doing was centered around social emotional learning. Our school psychologists were overrun. Like when we were getting kids extra help outside, they were backed up, especially post COVID. And so there was an immense need. And so, for me, it was kind of like, how do we help to fill the need because our kids are screaming for it, right? People are screaming for it. Mental health is such a big aspect. And so for me, for sure, I think like a lot of adults in my generation and, I don't think I ever prioritized my mental health like in a way to really understand even how to give that. And so when we started doing that work with our kids within the schools, I started to take it more seriously and then decided that, this is something that we needed to bring to different communities like elsewhere.
It's interesting because obviously mental health is taking the awareness is being raised. I mean, it's something that it seems like we're more willing to talk about. And I think about what's Ron Artest's new name? He has a new name, right?
Meta World Peace.
Meta World Peace, right? And I think about when he gave an interview one time, and one of the persons that he thanked for where he was his therapist. And I thought that was, at the time, it seemed like a bold move to say that I'm in therapy to help me deal with some of the things that are going on in life.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is it's not something that was popular, especially like, within Black and brown communities. It wasn't something that was openly spoken about. Like even within sports, it wasn't something that was acceptable. A lot of guys had no outlet, and if they did try to find an outlet, if they got pegged as like, something's wrong, or, people looked at that as if you sought out therapy because there was something wrong with you, as opposed to this being a part of like just the healthy balance that like everybody needs, you know? And so these therapeutic things that we do with the kids are really introductory pieces. We work on stuff like breath work, you know, like in paced breathing, how to release anxiety. Like when you're feeling like really tense, we do positive affirmations. We do a lot of work with kids on things that just weren't put to the forefront when we were, you know, growing up, and definitely not when we were playing. We were in a sports mentality where people just tell you, you know, suck it up, you know, you push
Yeah.
through. You know, there's a part of that for sure where, you know, you push past and you push through, you know, certain limitations and certain things, but there's another side that, you know, sometimes things do affect you, and it's okay to work through those things and to be able to have an outlet to work through those things and learn how to work through those things in a healthy way. You know, people need them, and that's what we teach.
Your program is called Clinic Kids, and you actually were in Syracuse last week. And so, what was it like here in Syracuse running Clinic Kids? And tell me what Clinic Kids means, because you explained it to me that it has a dual meaning.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, when you run a clinic on somebody, it means you're putting in work, right? Like on the court, on the field, like within your sport. You know, to have somebody run a clinic on you means it was a bad day for you. You know, because they are just kind of having their way. But on the other side, you know, we go to clinics in order to get better, right? Like, in anytime we go into a clinic, like for a health reason, that clinic or clinician is there to make us better. And so, through sports and through health and wellness, we make people better, right? And so. And our focus are kids, right, as young as 7 years old. And so we're talking about, you know, we basically make kids better. And so that's how the name Clinic Kids came about. And yeah, we had a great time. We came into Syracuse on December 16th. Spent the whole day out there. We had about almost 150 kids, which was amazing because we had just put the word out less than a week before, you know, everything started. Uh, Fun fact is that Mickey Walker was my AAU coach. He's a Syracuse native. Anybody who's basketball knows who Mickey Walker is. A phenomenal coach, like AAU, and just, you know, gave me my first experiences because I was born in Schenectady, New York, and we didn't have a bunch of opportunities. He came in, decided to put us on this travel team, and my first trip was to France. They're beating on the side of the bus, treating us like superstars, and I'm like, man, this is what I'm going to do with my life. I'm going to play basketball. And so I owe him a lot because I came out of Schenectady and had that opportunity because he came into my community, reached in, and then made sure that I had that, you know, advantage. And so I feel like I'm paying it forward in a sense, right? So now, full circle, I'm coming back into Syracuse. Talked to Mick. Mick introduced me to Twiggy. Twiggy put me on the phone with Superintendent Davis. Superintendent Davis had a phenomenal team with his deputy superintendent Pam and his athletic director Jesse, and just they just put everything together like within a week for us to like come out there within a really short time period for us to come out there and to really provide an amazing service for the kids. And it was an amazing day. The parents had a great time. The kids were engaged. They were all like chanting our mantra: confident, committed, resilient, and just really feeling like you know, energized and just feeling like you know, impacted from the single day. So it was an amazing event.
What is the most? This is not a trick question, but I just want to see how you answer it. What is the most important? No, is winning the most important thing in
No,
sports?
winning is the most important thing at a professional level because you have to keep your job. I mean, like for anybody who's played professional basketball on any level, NBA, overseas, like you know it's a cutthroat business. Like somebody's got to lose, but you just don't need it to be you because you will be replaced. Like, you know, coaches get fired, players get replaced. So winning at some point absolutely is paramount. But we've gotten to a place in our culture and in our society, and this isn't to talk bad about any kind of program or any kind of, but just at some point we have to focus on development and on developing kids. And if the goal is to win all the time and at every level, then when do we ever get to the place that we teach? And
Hmm.
so I'm a firm believer that development is key. Development is super important when you're talking about developing your game, developing characteristics, developing mentalities. And I feel like there has to be a stage of development. And for us, you know, there are enough people that focus on elite players, and not saying that we don't. Like every single person we use has played Division I basketball or Division I sports and played professionally, so everybody knows the game inside and out. But we'll work with kids that have never dribbled a basketball before, the same way that we'll work with kids that are, being recruited by top colleges. There's still, we can adjust at any point, but there's got to be a place for us that at least that we believe that it's really all about development, and that's what we're about.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you're trying to get to the NBA, where would this development take place where winning isn't everything?
Yeah, the thing is that kids are playing like 4 and 5 games a week, practicing one time. Like it's backwards, it's reverse, um, and you just don't see the level of attention that there is just on overall development, just period. And then even when you're in the game, like I don't know about you, but like for me, if I got my son and he's playing and he's 7 years old or 8 years old and he's playing on a team, it's great that maybe like there's a kid over here and Jamal is killing and like he's scoring 12, 13, 20 points. But, I want my kid to get in the game as well so he can learn, right? So at some point, he or she needs to get some playing time in order to do that, right? So like, these coaches who are all about winning, like even at that level, sometimes it's a little disturbing to me.
I'm talking with Kash Hameed, founder of Klinic Kids. And so you have a team, you're looking to expand. Tell me how the program works.
So how it works is this: we basically talk to different partners, whether that's schools, community-based organizations, even teams, and we let them know that we can do a couple of things. We come in for either a single day, and we do a clinic. And most kids or most people who've seen a camp or a clinic, it's nothing special or nothing new about like how you run a clinic. We do small group stations. We rotate through those stations, and we teach kids high-level basketball skills, right? The thing that's different from us is that we break our day up into intentional segments where we inject wellness, mental health into the day and make it a part of the day seamlessly so that the kids walk away with tools not only to get better on the basketball court, but tools to help them cope through challenges and things they might face in life. And, we've done it in a way where it doesn't seem like we're lecturing, we're not teaching in a way where it's boring. It becomes essential, and we use real examples from basketball, like in our experience, to real life, and the kids have appreciated. The response has been overwhelming, and we do that from a single day to a week-long program to even like throughout the year, like working with schools and districts and different partners. So that's basically the work that we do and that we've been working with, and we've been blessed to like have a really great reception from parents, kids, schools, partners. And so now we're like literally going, spreading our wings and like going all these different regions and areas, like doing the work.
So you one of the things that you want to do, and one of the reasons why Twiggy's on the phone with everyone, is because you're looking to do more in this community. Specifically, what are you looking to do here in Syracuse?
Well, I'm looking to partner with the great work that's already happening, right? Like the one thing that I want to make sure that people know is that there's no savior complex at all. There are some people like Twiggy. I met Rashida Caldwell. I met, Superintendent Davis and his team, like some of the great principals, teachers. Like there are people that are invested in the Syracuse community that are doing amazing work already. And what we want to do is just come in, partner alongside these people and to join in the fight, like, and to give some incredible programming that the kids can enjoy, that they can be excited about, like, and, bring just a level of, experience that I think will benefit everybody.
All right. So, with that being said, uh, what does expansion into Syracuse look like then?
Yeah, so we're working on it now. Like we've had the meetings with Superintendent Davis and his entire team, with Twiggy, some of the school board members, some of the community leaders, and so we've presented kind of like an overarching framework of what might work, and they're going to go back and see like how to fulfill like the needs. But what it looks like us like being committed to. We don't care if we're all the way in New York City, like getting in the car, driving 4 hours to come up to Syracuse on a consistent basis to work with the kids and community in order to like help you guys like and bring some like really exciting programming to the area.
And where are you? What other places are you operating now?
Yeah, so we're operating here, like in close to here in Westchester County. We have a partnership with New Rochelle Board of Education. We are starting a brand new partnership with Boys Club of New York. We've been everywhere from Ledyard, Connecticut, which is all the way down by like Foxwoods, to New Jersey, to, all over the place. And, we're having even more talks with different partners in Seattle and Miami. And actually, we just had a call today where we're even talking about, partnering with some of our friends who are over in France and bringing a, single day event like overseas with some of our friends who are still like hooping over there. So, we're open to going wherever the need is, and that's what we're doing.
So here's how this is my imagination running amok. So I'm shooting drills, I'm shooting threes, I'm doing layup drills, and then a coach blows the whistle. We come in, we'll do some breath work, we'll breathe, and then we'll do some layups, we'll do some drills, and then we'll do some yoga. And then we'll do some layups and we'll do some drills, and then we'll have a conversation, a mindfulness conversation. Is that how it works? I don't know how it works.
In some respect, man, like the thing about it is the highest level athletes. Like if you look at a LeBron, well, let's not just even take basketball. In any sport, they pay people a lot of money to help them with like certain techniques, right?
Right. That
These
we don't
techniques,
know that though, right? We don't, that's the stuff we don't see.
right? You even take golf, like, I don't know if anybody is a golf fan, but a lot of the golfers now will take like a life coach with them on the course with their caddy, right? As they're going through, like that person is with them, like during that time. You have people like Kevin Love who are huge advocates for mental health. He talks about how he had a panic attack in front of 60,000 people, and not knowing what to do in that situation and having to learn that as an adult because nobody started that education as a young person, right? And so this is something that affects everybody on all levels and all different ways, right? And then sometimes if you take external environmental factors like that are rough, like that some of our kids are growing up in, it's not just about the basketball court. It's about like real life things that are happening,
Right.
and knowing how to cope with those emotions and those feelings. And, mentally you're just not in a sound place and you don't know what to do about it, right? And athletes come up like the entire time and they know, hey, if I want to get faster, this is what I want to do. If I want to get stronger, this is what I do. If I want my shot to be better, this is what I want to do. Like all those different things. But what do you do when you feel like things are too heavy and you have too many obstacles? What do you do when you're hitting that obstacle over and over again and you feel like you can't push past? What do you do when that anxiety has hit you and you are getting those panic attacks and it's too much, and so basically, like exactly what you said, we are jumping into all of those different areas and we're giving introduction into, some of those coping mechanisms, some of that mental health work so that they have those tools as well. So exactly that.
I mean, it sounds like a place. I think so many, I know this is a co-educational program, but I think about so many of our youth often don't have that space just to be able to deal with their own feelings, emotions, but also channel their energy in a way that's going to positively impact their lives. That's an overgeneralization. It certainly is. But what I'm conscious of is that the more spaces we have where young people can feel and think and be, the better it is. And if it's coming through sports, a sport that they love to play, then
Right.
the better it is. What else do we need to know, Kash, about this program that you want us to know?
I just feel like I just want people to know that like the idea of this isn't to be the owners of this by any means, right? I think a lot of times people get a concept and they try to, hoard it to themselves or, want to be the owner of something. This is something that we're trying to normalize, that we want like this generation of kids coming up to be introduced to this early because we want them to grow up in it because they're our next athletes, they're our next coaches, but more importantly, they're the next generation of parents, right? And so even within their own mindset of how they parent, how they raise their kids, being able to understand the intricacies of mental health at a young age and the importance of that and giving space for that for themselves to be able to get through trauma, hardship, challenges will make them all the better for like their kids, their society, their community, and definitely on the court or on the field or anything else. So, sports is the draw, mental health is the mission, and we're just trying to reach as many kids as possible. And we're excited about possibly coming into Syracuse to do this work.
Listen, anybody who wants to help save the lives of our kids, we welcome you in partnership, right, with everyone else that's doing it.
Absolutely.
And we wish you well and we wish you success. That's Kash Hameed. He is the founder of Klinic Kids. They help young people not only with sports, but also and their ability and skills, but also with their mental health and wellness. And what a great combination. And we wish you well in this work, Kash. Kash Hameed, doing good work here in the community. Thank you for being on Inspiration for the Nation.
George, thanks so much for having me. Anybody who wants to follow the journey, you can join us like on social media. Follow us at Klinic Sports on IG, Facebook, or anything else, Klinic with a K, or just go to klinicsports.com and just look up any of the places that we're going to be or some of the work that we're going to do because we could always use the help. Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate it.
klinicsports.com here on Inspiration for the Nation.